Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. Dragonworm here, and today I'm going to be trying once again to get a space plane into orbit. So the D-21BR is the one that we're going to be using now. It's actually got a crew complement of 3. Much bigger and heavier. I've tried similar heavy designs in the past, and I've just had lots of problems with thrust, and I had all but given up. But then I read on the Reddit forums that adding lots of air intakes can kind of allow you to use jet power for longer, so you can get going faster and at a higher altitude, and that's really what makes the difference in getting in orbit and not going to space today. So I'm gonna try and get this. I actually tried 2 other times to get this on video. I've done this twice before. On my own, just trying to get it into orbit. And I didn't really find it to be all that difficult as long as I followed a specific flight plan. Like 40-degree angle of attack. There we go. What I'm noticing in this game, I really don't know if it's just me, but it seems like, because I flew those at night and during the day, it seems like things are heavier. It can't be true, but it just seems that way, because there's a lot more drag, it seems, and I don't know if maybe the game does something where every time you load the same craft it does something, or if it's just me. I kind of hope it's just me. Maybe it's just like a bad day for piloting for me, but twice in a row I got this into orbit, so I'm hoping that things don't go poorly for us today. Jeb piloting. It's a pretty cool little setup he's got here. Gonna get out of IVA. So hopefully Jeb doesn't fail us. I'll show you guys the other plane that's in orbit. This one, I tried to reduce weight wherever I could, but actually it seems to be going slower now than it was before, and I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but hopefully it doesn't. So here we go. Once we hit a speed of about, I want to say, not a speed, sorry, an altitude of about 13K, we're gonna pop on down to 20-degree angle of attack. This seems to be better too, because I'm going a lot faster. And the last time I did this, drop that down a little bit more. I hate when it rolls. That affects things. Kinda don't want to mess with it too much, because I think that might have effects. I don't want to add any more fuel, because that's going to affect speed. Like the fuel to weight ratio on this, or the thrust to weight ratio on this thing, it's got to be pretty close. Pretty carefully done. No, it's already going up a little too high, so push that nose down a little bit. Maybe I need to drop it down back to 10 degrees. I think I'm going to test that out this time, or 15 degrees, rather. Yeah, I'm going to do it at 15 degrees, and I'm going to see if that helps us maintain a good speed increase, because once we get into rockets, I can just try a zoom climb at 40 degrees or 45 degrees to get out of the atmosphere quicker. So yeah, still doing pretty good, but I really want to get to about 11 or 1200 meters per second before we activate the rocket engines. Preferably 1200. That seems to be the best. Going over 1100 now. I think we'll make it this time. Sometimes it'll start whining and we'll have some problems. So hopefully that doesn't happen. If it starts going out of control, I'm looking at a lot of things at the same time. Yeah, that high-pitched whining means it's time to turn on the rockets and cut off everything else. There we go. We're gonna lock it there. Because it's speed really that matters here. Getting more speed on the jets may make all the difference in the universe. Climbing at a pretty good clip. 30K. Climbing. I don't know, guys. Something's weird. It should be going a lot higher and a lot faster than it is right now. Like, I should be about 10K higher, and yeah, there's no way this is going to make it into orbit. Absolutely none. And I haven't the slightest idea why it's doing this. I can try to add a maneuver here, but it's going to take more fuel and energy than we have to get this going. I'm wondering if I should even... Yeah, I need like 525 meters per second, and that's not happening. Pretty much as soon as I get out of the atmosphere, I'm gonna try it, but something is fishy, and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna... I mean... I don't understand why this is happening, and if I don't know what's happening and why it's happening, I can't fix it. But it just seems like... Because yesterday, I mean, those arrow spikes were much better than they are now, as far as what they were doing for me. Just want to get into space and stay there. Because look, this one was on a... It's on a... That's the Viper. Never mind. There's another one here. I think it's Blaster 1. That's not what we're looking for. Yeah, D21 VR is... Oh, that's ours. Where's the other one? There it is. Yeah, altitude 122. I mean, it's much, much better. So I have no idea why it's doing that. But yeah, we're in space now pretty much, so I'm gonna try burning a little bit less crazy. Try 2/3 of a burn. It's still way, way too much speed to gain. Do not believe we will make it into orbit today. That really, really aggravates me. I think this is going to be the worst of the overall launches. Yeah, this one, I mean, progressively, as I've loaded this, it's gotten worse as far as getting into orbit, and I can't understand why it's doing that. I'll restart the flight. Am I forgetting something that I did before? I don't know. There's no reason why it should be this bad, because it was getting, even when I failed at it, it was like at 40 or 50K altitude on the periapsis. I have gone from getting a periapsis of maybe 14,000 to a periapsis of about 8,000, and now to not even achieving that much. Maybe it's the zoom climb. I shouldn't try to do that, because that was something I didn't try before. So we're just kind of being a little experimental with this until I can find the perfect flight plan, because yes, apparently it matters a lot. So I'm going to keep it here at 40 because that seems to be a good climb angle. And the drop off at 13K, that's fine too. It's just something that happens because at 1200 meters per second, I think I'm just not going to mess with the profile. I'm just going to keep it at about 15 degrees, and then I'm going to let the craft naturally push its nose up on its own, because it does that on its own. At one point though, we will have to level off. Maybe I won't use a maneuver node or something, but I don't know why it's giving me so many problems. Launching at apoapsis should be the most efficient way of getting up there. Maybe it's Jeb, the fact that maybe Jeb's heavier. I don't know. I call shenanigans on this one. It's probably something I'm doing and I'm just not realizing it, or like I was doing something special and now I have no idea what that would be. I could always add more intakes, but I always risk more drag, because even when these intakes are closed, they add a little bit of drag on there. So I want to be careful with what I'm doing. I don't think I've added anything new. Yeah, I've reduced weight. I used to have symmetrical docking ports, and now like they were on this wing that's highlighted here. And nope. Have these little instruments. Turn those on. That'll be fun while I climb. See how everything changes. Barometer, pressure's decreasing. Gravioli, accelerometers. Yeah, this is fine because there was one launch that I had at a lower altitude. I didn't even reach 330 meters per second before hitting 13K, and now I have. So I'm going to drop you down to about here. Right between 15 and 20 degrees. And I'm actually going to leave it here. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to see if that helps, makes any kind of difference. The tilt, I don't think, should make a difference. It should be fine. Again, we're rapidly picking up speed. Maybe it's even my performance on my computer with having fraps running at the same time. It affects the physics somehow. Reaching about 600 meters per second. Climbing. Yeah, I'm not going to touch it. It's popping its nose up to about 20. Still not going to do anything with it. And once it starts... Sometimes, though, it doesn't start whining before it runs out of air so fast that you'll get a flat spin, which... that's the end of everything. Yeah, I mean, we're doing much better. I was getting about where we ended last time as far as speed goes at a much lower altitude, and I had a much less speed. So this is still pretty good. But I feel like it's just heavier and more sluggish somehow, and I don't know why. Yeah, 20K, we're already like 30 or 40 more units of intake air higher. Keep going up at this. 900, climbing still. I don't know what the stall out is on this. getting really nervous, guys. Yeah, it's like playing chicken, because I know that there have been times where I've really just pushed it and it just knocks out. Now, I don't understand quite what's happening here. Is there an open intake? Because I shouldn't be getting any intake air whatsoever. These all are closed. They should all be closed anyway. Not the gear bay. Those are all symmetrical, so they should be all closed. No idea why I'm getting any intake air whatsoever. Yeah, I'm just letting the nose naturally climb. I'm not affecting the SAS whatsoever. We're climbing not bad. It's a little bit better. I think it's more efficient if I just don't touch the controls. $1,900. $210. I think I need more like 250 or 300 in order to do this. How to maneuver at apoapsis. If I need anything like more than this, God, ugh. $400. Okay, 400. Am I gonna make that? I don't know. I mean, I definitely 500. Anything over 500 meters per second, I definitely can't make. But 400, we might pull this off. But I think I'm gonna get an apoapsis of somewhere around like maybe 40 through 60K, and that's a decaying orbit. But like you guys can see, like the wild variability in a few like minor changes in the way I fly this thing has massive implications. So I guess that's what Harvester meant when he said that space planes are a real challenge. I wish it was a little bit more reliable though, because it makes me nervous with all of this mess that's going on. 210 units of liquid fuel to circular eyes. That is not a comfy place. That is like the opposite of what is a comfy place. What is this shard? Must be some kind of command pod on the opposite side of the world. Startron. There's the D-21 that's already in orbit. So I wonder what's affecting me. I've been doing a lot of launches, as you guys can see. So hopefully I'm gonna wait till we get to our maneuver node, like maybe at T-8 seconds I'll start, and I'll burn full, because I don't think there's any point in using less fuel, because it assumes full burn. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. This might make it. I'm gonna burn the whole tank. One unit of liquid fuel. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have one stable orbit. No. Oh my god, so close. You've got to be kidding me. No. I got to use the RCS to do something here. Using RCS to push to force an orbit. I don't know if I'm going to have enough RCS fuel even to do this, but we're going to do this. Actually, I'm going to turn off the SAS. Just use H. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, hold on. Hold on, guys. I am not accepting anything less. We have earned this orbit, and I'm going to do this to get it. Like, keep in mind, I should not have to be doing this. Yeah, something's wrong. I don't know why it's doing that. Like leaking. Why am I leaking RCS? So close to 70. Why? This is terrible. I'm gonna try to get higher. Turn off RCS. Lock SAS. Throttle down. Ship is not under acceleration. 69,900. I need to get 100 meters. And do it again at apoapsis. Okay, guys. I've used a lot of the RCS fuel, but 970. Okay, and lock. Turn RCS on. H. Yes! Okay, awesome. We now have a stable orbit. So yes, it's doable. This is a terrible orbit. This was a terrible launch. I don't know why it's doing this, but I think I'm going to count this as a win. Yeah, because if we keep going, this shouldn't be a decaying orbit. This should be an orbit that is pretty good. And I think what messed me up was I should have moved the throttle a little bit. Yeah, that is not affected by anything. 115, 70. So we've done it. We are in orbit. That makes me happy. We fought tooth and nail to get it. But we have an orbit nonetheless. It's still not as good as the ones I've done off camera, because before I didn't actually need to use any of the monopropellant. But I guess that kind of shows you how powerful the monopropellant could be. I might actually have been able to get somewhat of an orbit using it. I was using it stupidly because I was starting to go around my orbit to the point where I wasn't really adding to my periapsis anymore, but this is very good. Like, as long as I'm within a kilometer, which is rare, but EVA, our friend here. Control, no, control. Grab. We have grabbed. Hooray. Whoa, 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 headbanging. Boarding and IVA. Look at that, guys. That is why I wanted to do this so bad. His little feet. Look at that. That is awesome. You can just kind of like survey around. Sorry. But yeah, this is awesome. This is why I wanted to do this. Whoosh. And lock. Very cool stuff. And I have Jeb in here doing it. So this is the whole point of things that I wanted to do. Very happy that I got into orbit. The next thing that I have planned, which I may do in a future episode, or I may tack it onto this one and have a longer episode, is getting the orbital refueler to fill this thing up with monopropellant and liquid fuel. I'll actually briefly, I will switch over to the other one, which is on a very, I think, similar orbit. If I double click on that, what's going to happen? Oh, it'll switch over, which is good. Make sure my throttle's down so I don't use any more fuel. Chad Kerman was driving that one. And yeah, see, 8.27 units of fuel. Plenty of oxidizer. Almost all of my monopropellant is still there, so it's very cool. Where is he IVAing from? Yeah, he's in here too. This one has a really nice view. Really nice music, really nice view. So yeah, guys. I will either see you for the next installment, or we will continue in the VAB so that I can get something to refuel these suckers and we can do some interplanetary or intercelestial object maneuvers and such things. So stay tuned, and I will see you soon-ish. Hey guys, I think I may have hit the nail on the head. I think it's Fraps that's doing this, because look, I haven't finished my orbit, so it's proof. It's proof, guys. But look at this. I'm gonna make another maneuver node here. 70 and 135. That's good enough. That'll be a good enough periapsis. But I need 48. But look, I have 286. I have almost 300 units of fuel. That's a massive enough difference to make this possible. I think I still have multiple D21BRs here. Yep, I do, and that's going to be a problem later. But I'm thinking that might be my problem here, is that I try to do it on video, and there's something with their performance that's affected. So that's something that is unfortunate, but at least I'll let you guys see this done the proper way. I was doing a little bit of experimenting, because it matters when I'm at those critical moments. I got like 1200 meters per second, and I actually had a situation where the intake air didn't burn out, but I started almost getting out of control, so I quickly switched to rockets, flipped on RCS, and it made a huge difference. So we're going to launch at this maneuver node about 9 seconds prior to it, and we're going to see if we can't get into orbit. There's a likelihood that I could actually end up ramming something I already have going, so I'm going to full power this. Look at that, we're not even below 200, and we already have a third of this thing gone. It's a pretty big likelihood that we're going to make it. Yeah. This time we will make it. That is the most fuel I've managed to end this with. Periapsis is a little low. I'm going to continue along that. I'm going to lock it here. Do a brief burn. Am I at that periapsis already? Can't even tell. Yeah, I'm at that periapsis, so I'm gonna move. But yeah, even with this correction, I'm still gonna have a ton more fuel. And it kind of amazes me how slight variations in your flight can cause such massive changes in the efficiency of everything. So I'm facing in the wrong direction. Yeah, I am noticing a slight bit of lag here on all of this. Let's see if my periapsis is where I need it to be. Yes, yes it is. We are good. We are in orbit, this time for real, with more liquid fuel than ever, and almost no monopropellant used whatsoever. I think that's what it was, guys. I'm actually going to end this flight because I don't want this many things in orbit. Or maybe, you know, I'm going to resume it. I'm going to end the last one. The last one that I was doing. Too many things in orbit. There's another one. Which one is it? I think it's this other one that's a little bit closer. It's also got a jeb in it. I think I got 2 jebs. It's whatever one has no fuel. No fuel at all. Yep, ending this flight. This one was unacceptable. Tracking station. Yeah, there's one that's been there for a long time that has a really good orbit. This one's got another good orbit. So great. Very happy. Let's go back. And we will go to the vehicle assembly building so I can show you guys what I have been working on. Orbital Refueler Mark III. There we go. Now the only thing that I'm trying to get into orbit is this. This is a Poodle engine, Rocco Max Poodle engine. This is it. I mean, all this has is this big stock, so it can go right where that docking node is, and it's so long so that it doesn't hit anything important on the other craft. The problem isn't. There's several problems with this design. First, these engines and these fuel tanks don't get along very well, so I have to put one of these on there to prevent it from overheating at ridiculously low thrust outputs. But what that also means is a lot of jiggling here. So to prevent problems like that, I put lots of struts on it, which of course I think is adding to weight, because after you've added enough of them, they do start impacting function. Another problem, I haven't tested this yet, but I had to put these here because when I get into assuming nothing rips off and destroys everything, when I'm left with this very long tubular component, it's completely uncontrollable. It has enough thrust for me definitely to get into an orbit, but it's got so many problems with control that I can't get it to work right. This extra RCS makes things easier, and this thing has a lot of problems with having way too much thrust, so adding a little bit more weight shouldn't be a big deal. It's unmanned. It's got this little probe, plenty of energy generators on it. Cool shielded docking port. Not a very usual, typical asparagus stock design. Nothing special. What's special is the fact that it is so hard to get going into orbit. So I'll launch it. I'll see if Fraps messes this up too. Sorry guys, I don't know if Fraps actually caught that before, but the game crashed in the VAB when I was trying to load this up. That happens to me a lot. I don't think it's too much of a problem. It's just games in in beta or alpha, or I don't know what it is, but it's not finished. So I've locked on SAS, and we're gonna launch. I launch it full first. Whoa, that's very loud. I look at the G-forces. Whoa, they're going way too high. I'm gonna scale that back a bit. 2/3 power. Let's see. We're going to drop the first stage now. And those extra winglets don't seem to be causing a whole lot of problems. It seems to be adding to stability a bit, which is good. A little bit of jiggling, a little bit of off-center. Maybe I shouldn't have the smooth controls on. I don't know. Yeah, we're tilting, not only tilting, but tilting in the wrong direction, which is going to make it a little harder for me to work out. But this should work. Hopefully nothing rips off. And releasing. Okay. I'm going to try to correct this. Hold on, guys. We have corrected. RCS correction. I'm only launching at 2/3 power because if I go too high, this thing is torn apart before. I don't want that to happen. Doing pretty good on fuel because every time we drop fuel tanks, it's less weight that this thing has to, fix. And those winglets look like this thing is much more stable than before, which is very good. Very good. So right about 30, I'm going to go along the 90-degree line because we're going to start tilting. This thing is very shaky. 30K, okay. I'm going to go down here. Right at about 45 degrees. And locking. Okay. We want that to stabilize before we jettison any more parts. And jettison. And we have destroyed part of my craft, and we are flying out of control. I think. Oh yes. Very out of control. Something was damaged on here. I don't know if that's gonna be okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Hold on. If I turn on RCA. No, that makes it worse. That makes it worse. That makes everything worse. Slow your roll. While I try to get this down. This is the part that really infuriates me. Is no RCS off. Pulsing, 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 pulsing. By the time I get it under control, ooh, this thing is hard to control. Just get up there. You have a little bit more time, no rush. The second I do this. Alright, let's start our launch. It's too uncontrollable. Screw it. Do it live. Got plenty of fuel in this, so it should have enough to maneuver and just barely circularize it. I can worry about getting on par with someone else's stuff soon. Yeah, that's good enough. Where is that maneuver node? 9 seconds. to get to that node. Lock it. Yeah, and we're just gonna keep going. I don't think we're gonna make this. Don't have enough thrust on that engine. We got loads of liquid fuel, but this is not... I don't think this is gonna make it at all, guys. It just doesn't have enough kick to get us where we're going. So I think this might be time for a design change. I jettisoned a ton of fuel, but I mean it was not controllable. Yeah, 4 minutes, we'll be in the atmosphere again, and this won't do well. Yeah, we're dropping like a rock. We don't have enough velocity. I don't even know if this is worth watching. I'm going to change, against my better judgment, I'm actually going to change the engine on this to be a mainsail. In the previous game, I got this to work, not the previous version, that didn't have the altered RCS tanks, and I think that might be the problem here. We are dangerously close to dropping into the atmosphere, and we have a lot of meters per second to go. Yeah, there's essentially no chance. Okay. And flight, vehicle assembly building. Gonna make some changes. First change is I'm going to be moving these fins up here. And try to put them in the same plane that the other ones are in. Roughly the same plane at least. Yeah, that's probably good enough. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out this guy for one of these guys. And hopefully that doesn't mess up any... Nope, didn't mess up any of that stuff. That's very good. That, ladies and gentlemen, might do it. Mark 4. And save and launch. Hopefully that makes this thing a bit more stable, controllable, good, happy, and everything that entails. Full throttle, locking SAS, and launch. Watch it tear itself apart. Whoa, it's getting into danger. Scale that back. About to drop the first stage. Dropping. Climbing up again. I don't like this shaking. I don't like it. Like it at all. About to drop another stage. Then I'm gonna have to fix this nav ball. And dropping. Now you are going to move like that. Very good. And I've switched it over to the not fine aviation controls, but the very jerky, like artificial controls. Hoping that will improve lives. The fact that it shakes so much makes me very nervous. Burning in a lower atmosphere environment, but look at that jiggling. Ooh, seems to be calming down a little bit. This is such a bad design. But I'm doing what I can to get a ton of fuel up there. So here we go. We are going to go to 45 degrees or so and lock it. Now watch it tear itself apart as soon as we do this. Good. That RCS, it's creating a lot of like those kinds of forces, those problematic sorts of forces. I think we'll still be okay. Please lock. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna go sideways now. Don't really care if it's loppy-gagged or not. I think this is a much better and more stable design, thanks in part to these fins that are added in a better place. And I don't mind the monopropellant being used so much because we have 2 tanks for this very reason. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. We're going to definitely use up all of this stage trying to circularize. But with that other mainsail engine, we'll be in a much better position to continue stabilization. And we'll still have at least enough units of fuel to make it worth launching this up here. See what full throttle does. Try to burn off that fuel. Whoa! Control. Control, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we need. Control. Okay. So continue, continue, continue. We have plenty of this. Drop us down, stable. That is going way too far out. Much better, guys. We are in an orbit, even though we're going to have to waste a lot of this fuel repairing that orbit. Need to add a maneuver to finish circularizing. We also then need to add one to fix this. That's going to be good enough. Just need a 1 second burn. And we don't really have any extra control, even with the fins in space, really, which makes sense, but we don't have any way of locking this without RCS use. So again, this is going to be a challenge. Stop. And kill this maneuver node. Good, very good. 1936 liquid fuel. We only need 1080. And we have plenty of RCS at our disposal. So, I think that's going to do it for this episode, because this is going to take a lot of planning just to preview this. And which one are we going to go to again? It doesn't really matter which one we go to. I just checked it, so let's see if this is any good. This is the one we want. This is the one with Jeb. So this is one that should have, yeah, it has some fuel, so that's probably, this is a good one to shoot for, I think. So we're going to go back to the map view and to this thing. And we're going to set that one, which I think was right over here, as our target. Regardless of which one we pick, it doesn't really matter. They both have a little bit of fuel and RCS left. So we might be able to get it to help us out. Map view. D21BR, set it as our target. And we are way off on anything that would be considered possible. So maybe at our ascending node, I'll add a maneuver. And we need to get this at retrograde periapsis. Let's bring this down a bit. Bring this down a lot. Not that much. Periapsis, where is that peri? I can't read it. So that's pretty good. Let's shorten that a little bit. That 110. Drop that periapsis. 103. Actually, I'm going to leave that there. That's good. Then at periapsis, at our new periapsis, which is right there, I'm going to add another maneuver. I'm going to add multiple maneuvers. And that maneuver will bring down the apoapsis, because the apoapsis needs to be brought down. Still way too high. Still way too high. And still quite too high. It's about as low as I think I want to bring it. Let's see what happens if I bring it even lower. We're still nowhere near going to get an intersect. And there are so many things all in the same place, it's very hard for me to see. Periapsis will still be okay. And the new apoapsis will still be okay. So we have quite a lot of maneuvers, and we may even end up only being able to give a few hundred units of fuel. But I'm getting better at this. I've docked before with the Viper, and I'm hoping this time to do it again on camera. So that will be next time. So I will see you guys then. Leave a like if you liked.